What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? We Instagram Live, Plumbing Perspective, Thursday night, a little bit before 7 o'clock. I had a week off. I was on a fishing trip last week, so decided to take the week off and let Mike take the week off as well. So we're gonna bring on my guy, Mike, in a second. Let's see if he's there. He is. There he is. Mike, what's going on?
What's up? I am rested, relaxed, ready to rock and roll. Took a whole week off. No, I wish I took a whole week off, but
I was going to ask you last week. You were at Chris Stapleton concert.
oh my gosh, that was amazing. Until it got rained out, unfortunately.
It got rained out?
It got rained out, yeah. So it was actually George Strait, and with Chris Stapleton as like one of the pre-acts.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's be honest, most of them were there for Chris Stapleton for sure. But
that was in Nashville, right?
It was in Nashville, yeah. Yeah, I was out there.
Damn.
Yeah. And I still somehow get surrounded by plumbing. I ended up meeting up with a local plumber out here, Mark Eppleston, that owns Prodigy Plumbing. I'm like, I never leave it. Like everywhere I go, there's always plumbing involved.
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you'd be like Chris Stapleton's personal plumber out there.
Oh, yeah, I wish. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Tennessee whiskey.
And then, was it last weekend you went and saw Morgan Wallen, right?
Yeah. It's like it's been the past 2 weeks. Have been nothing but country. So yeah, I'm kind of concert out, but yeah, no, that was a lot of fun too. That was at SoFi Stadium here in LA, and yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, you were excited just to kind of see how that SoFi was and the experience. How was it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was so cool. I mean, you stay in the grandstands, right? And it's pretty amazing when you first walk in, but to actually stand on the field at like that 50-yard line and like look behind you, it's like whoa, and actually be where the players are. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
That's fun.
Was it comfortable? I mean, did it get hot? Was it?
Oh, it's been brutal. It's like crazy, like everywhere, even here in SoCal, and Nashville was, I mean, at points it was unbearable, but yeah, no, it's, that's the nature of the beast. I don't know. I feel like this whole heat wave, everybody's talking about it, even up to Canada. I heard.
Yeah.
I interested to ask Baker about how stuff's being handled up there. They had wildfires all last. Yeah, we'll get into that. But
let's see if he's hanging out. Let's go bring him in.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
I hear your dog.
I know, she's barking in the background. Not one of these IG lives again. No.
All right. See if he's out and about. There he is. Oh, where is he? You in the shower?
Happened there? Yeah.
Oh. There he is.
Never,
guy.
Never happened before.
What's happening?
What's up?
What's
Jonathan?
up?
Michael?
What's going on?
So how do you two know each other?
Us two?
Just through this stupid app.
Yeah.
Yeah, through social media, man. It's like the power of social media.
It's how the whole world knows each other these days.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
right.
Vicariously, virtually.
So I got to ask you, Bob.
But
What are you doing on social media? You get kicked off? Like, I'm kidding.
you would think I was posting like my dick or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. You can tell it's run like the government, because they take down your account and send you a note and say, we took down your account for objectionable conduct. If you think what we took down wasn't objectionable, let us know. And I'm like, I don't know what I did. Tell me what I did.
Yeah.
And it's just this big circle of, well, you agree to, what does it say? To the terms and conditions of this application, and violated them. So now you're out.
So they didn't specify one post specifically?
No!
You're out.
No, you're out. So
what the hell?
I don't know. It's happened twice, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
So there's no
I
chance
just
of getting that back, because I know the first time you know, but they took it away, and then you built up the audience, right? It takes a while to
Yeah,
build back the audience.
it took like almost 3 years,
Yeah.
and I mean, they say, you can appeal it, and so you do, but it's all just boilerplate bullshit where you get like, here, well, thank you for submitting us, and it's the same thing. Send us a screenshot of what you think we shouldn't have deleted. I'm like, I don't know what to send you. Like, I literally say, like, I don't know what to send you.
Yeah.
Tell me
Right.
what I did wrong, and I'll repent or bleed on something, or I don't know what.
I'll sacrifice
And then-
one of my little billy goats. No.
Yeah, man. I got goat heads out here, man. I'll burn one if you want. I don't care.
That's
And
great.
so you send your little thing in, like your little beg, like you're literally begging, please let me back in. And within 24 hours, or like, we've reviewed your request and it's denied. Try again within 24 hours. So it's just, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's no information, and you can't talk to anybody about it. So,
But the one that was taken down was like the plumbing one. I mean, like your work one, right? Because I know
Yep.
you have this one, but this one was more of like kind of like personal.
this was the one that should have been on freaking
That's what I'm
Target.
saying. Yeah.
When I got the message, I literally thought it was this account. I'm like, no, wait, that's the plumbing one. What?
Holy cow!
Oh, shit. So, I mean, it just, on some level, it just goes to show, like, the relationships that we develop on here are real, but, like, the content's not yours, because I can never get any of it back.
Yep.
All the stuff you do on there is gone in an instant. So it just sort of re-emphasizes to me how sort of, I don't want to say fake, but just how, temporary the social media game is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you can't go overboard. Like you need to say just enough, right, to build your viewership, but you can't go overboard, or else the big man's always watching.
Well, Mike,
It's crazy to me, though.
Yeah.
And you're in California. You guys are breeding the big men over there.
Okay, don't jinx me. I don't want to get popped. That's why all my stuff derated.
You guys are the fact that I'm on with you guys. You're all shadow banned as of immediately.
I know we're now accomplices.
I have this weird red light on my camera. I've never seen it before. What's going on?
Exactly right. We don't have the FBI up here, but the FBI is now watching you. Just so you guys know.
Mike, though, there was a guy that we worry when he pops on, because you never know what he's been banned, I think.
I think great. That awesome.
He-
Yeah.
he was-
Yeah.
He was saying some personal. This is way beyond, over the bound. He was going after some woman, and he was just ripping, and they like, bye.
Which is,
So
I get it.
I follow
Like
you,
you-
Bob. I don't know what you said or what you did that was anything out of Bob Baker, right? Anything out of the ordinary.
No, like you said, I do think. I mean, I don't know. If you go with sort of, the circumstances of events, the first one got taken down because I had a little dispute with a guy in Texas over ProPress that
Yeah.
said ProPress was for chumps, and so of course, because I'm an ass, I went after him with it, and and then my LinkedIn got taken down, but they let me back in after a week, and then the Instagram got deleted. And this one, obviously, I was having my little, fun with Shark Bite, and apparently somebody didn't appreciate that, and that was...
We know who it was. So
we certainly have our suspicions, but what do you do?
So Buddy the Plumber says free speech unless it goes against the agenda, which is true, right?
Yeah, but what's the agenda though? Like, is the agenda really Shark Bite? Like, I can't say anything derogatory about that, or somebody can, and fine, bitch about it all you want. I don't know why you just don't unfollow and say, dude, you're an ass, and I don't want to watch your shit anymore.
That's
I'm like,
what I
great,
say.
don't.
You can always move your thumb up and just scroll, right? You don't have to.
I've unfollowed lots of people. I'm like, dude, they're all out there where they just take it too far. I'm like, dude, you're going onto the lunatic fringe. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'll check back in a couple of months, see if you calm down or not. But
pretty.
Well, dude, I like the Baker barn. It's pretty cool back there.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh, it's freaking awesome.
we
Yeah.
got a
I
little forward-facing camera action. Was at the gym, so the gym's right in front of you. That's crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's the COVID gym. Can I say COVID?
I thought
That might kill me
was like,
too.
I thought it was like a grand entrance where he was coming. There was like
That's right.
a curtain, and he was like coming off, and
like
here
the Hulk-
comes
like
Bob
the-
Baker onto the
Like
show.
the Hulk Hogan entrance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash through the curtains, rip off my shirt,
But you do
do something.
your gym's up there. You know where you work out and stuff, right?
Yeah. So here, let me. Can I do this without?
Oh, dang, look at that.
That is a setup right there.
Yeah,
That is
that's it.
That is the setup.
So, Bob, real quick, I went on this fishing trip last week, and we found this island, and well, we name our own islands if they're not marked on the map. So it was in Canada, and every time we go to the island, there was a rooster that would, go cock-a-doodle, make the crow
Yeah.
or whatever. So we named it Rooster Island, or it could have been Cock Island. What would have been a better name for the island?
That's a perfect day. You Cock Island. What else? What else do you want?
All right, now we're banned.
Wow, yeah, that's weird. I just got a pause on my screen now.
It's interesting. As you guys know, you guys been in the trade. I mean, that's what we used to call all that
Yeah.
stuff, cocks, and when I had all those guys back in the day when we would hire people, one of the questions I would ask them, sort of just as a breaking the ice, I'm like, do you know what a cock hole cover is?
Yeah.
And they would be like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't know what a cock hole cover is, then you can't work here. And they would, nobody had any idea what it was, but it's, that's what we called the
Yeah.
stupid little stainless steel covers
Yep.
on the top of your sink.
They still are. That's common knowledge in the plumbing industry. I mean, and then amongst other derogatory terms, nipples and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, cockhole cover. That's like a normal term. I don't know. Yeah. Don't take it to that level, Instagram.
Right,
Don't
but-
take it to that.
Yeah, but like you say stuff like that, and you get, someone that's either uninitiated or dumb or inexperienced, and they're like, what are you talking about, dude? That's, I don't know, use that graphic, but that's, grotesquely sexual. I'm like,
Yeah.
actually, it's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing attached to that, but
So, Mike,
No.
can you
it's the world we
read
live
the
in.
comments? It says I unfollow Mike every Tuesday. It's my ritual.
Oh yeah, that's Jordan. He's a friend. He's a friend. He actually, ironically, he just graduated the 4-year program. So he was our valedictorian at PHC Orange County. So that was pretty cool last week. But yeah, he does unfollow me and then refollows me. That's weird. He's not lying.
Okay.
Tell him he's doing you a favor. It's good for the algorithm to have followers. Again.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
that is true.
Is
That
that
means
true?
that you're active. Yeah, it is. It means you're active.
Oh,
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep doing it, Jordan.
So, Bob, we were talking before you jumped on about the weather. Are you getting hot weather up there?
Dude, it is crazy up here. It's been like, we've had a couple 33s, which isn't that uncommon. We just don't usually have, it's usually like an afternoon from like 1 o'clock till like 4 o'clock.
Are you-
and then,
Talking Celsius?
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got to
so
do math in my head.
it's like that's like 92, 92 maybe, which is like I said the other day, I can handle the cold. I would rather have it be minus 40 than plus 40.
Yeah.
Because it's just I just melt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't do really well with it. So I don't know how those guys in Southern California and Texas and Arizona.
Yeah.
Like that's just it's bananas.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
hot
Buddy
that
says 98.
is.
Yeah.
98.
Yeah, they start early, man. I know the guys like, well, John Thompson, right?
Yeah, Johnny.
He's starting his day early. If you see his posts, he's already one call in by 5 o'clock, 5:30. Like that guy.
You have to be up before the sun gets there, right?
You have to. Yeah, you have to. I mean, not so much here in SoCal, but definitely in the high desert and Havasu and the whole Arizona area. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Any wildfire effects or anything? You've been pretty clear on that, haven't you?
It's not Canada. It's Quebec.
Quebec.
That's where all the smoke's coming from is Quebec.
Oh.
And if California's getting it, it's getting it from BC. Alberta's doing great. You know, you Americans think that everything like north of Eric Ani is Canada.
But you know what? To his point, though, I was in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, and Atlanta had all that Canadian wildfire smoke down in Georgia, of all places, like the South here in the U.S. I don't know. That stuff travels for sure. But
Hey.
yeah.
Well, they've had some massive problems with it. I know that, like the East Coast, like New Brunswick and Halifax, and PEI, which isn't that big, like it was on fire, like craziness. So whatever I don't know what they've attributed that to exactly. Of course, there's conspiracy theories, but I think the most probably relevant thing is they cut their wildlife management because my governments are brilliant, and so they don't go in there and do all their undercutting anymore. And so it doesn't take much to turn that stuff into just a massive
Wildfire.
Yeah.
causing problems everywhere. So
when I was on the fishing trip, this guy brought, he had an official drink for the trip. It was called Canadian Wildfire. And it was Canadian Club, orange bitters, ginger ale, and Fireball.
and what? Yeah, cinnamon Fireball.
It was actually not bad, but it was too sweet, for me. I mean, you can't drink more than one of those, right?
Oh yeah.
There's the camping analogy, John, which you know. Like 2 days into a camping trip, you'll eat anything. Everything tastes good. You'll eat bark, and you'll be like, "This is not bad, actually."
Yeah.
And so the fishing trip is the exact same thing. You will eat or drink anything after day 2.
That's true.
Because you're starving.
That's true. So, Bob, tell me, people don't know, you got your sons are working with you, right?
Yeah, that's the story. They, I fired 16 guys in one day, and then I went off on my own for a year. I fixed all the problems that I was experiencing and dealt with all my own little stresses. And then the boys, Isaiah, who's 24 now,
so wait a minute.
just
back up there. What was the timeline on that?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
How long ago was that?
when I fired everybody.
Yeah. You kind of reassessed.
Was this like pre-COVID or during COVID?
No, it was before. It was probably 2015, 16.
Okay.
It was the fall of 15, I think, if I remember right. And I'd been running that company for 15 years, and it was just at my wit's end. Yeah. Either because I don't know exactly what the reasons are. Either I was a bad boss, or I have terrible taste in men. I don't know what my issue is. I'm telling you, man, it's not even a joke. I would I'd be like, I hired the best guy. He's just going to be awesome. Like, I know he's just going to I'm excited about this guy. And then 3 months in, he's either, knocked up 3 women, or he's addicted to cocaine, or he's not making his maintenance payments. He gets his license suspended. I'm like,
yeah.
I have terrible taste in men. It's a good thing I'm not a woman, because I would be.
You'd fail every single time.
I would fail every time. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I woke up on a Saturday morning and I just said, that's it, I'm done. And phoned my lawyer. So this is what I'm doing. He wrote up all the paperwork. Everybody came in Monday morning. I had 12 cabs sitting in the parking lot. Said, everybody's done. Have a nice day. Sue me if you want, but this is the end of the line. So
yeah,
we had some stuff to unravel. Moved out of the big shop because my lease was coming up, and moved back into the barn. Fired a bunch of clientele that weren't paying their bills on time, that I had to chase like crazy, and went after the people that I wanted to work for, and it was just me and another guy for about 18 months, and it was, I won't lie to you, it was really a difficult time to do it.
Really? Okay.
The benefit was awesome. And then Isaiah, like I said, Isaiah was just finishing high school and deciding what he wanted to do. I'm like, well, if you don't know, you can come work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sort of started, long story short, he finished his, he's been a journeyman for almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. Pete will finish at the end of this year. He'll be a journeyman. And then I probably have 5 or 6 years left, and I can go fishing with you, John.
Yeah. So when you had 16, so you must have had to condense the business, or how did that work? I mean,
yeah, it was just sort of the timing of it all. Like so we had leased a big bay, like a 10,000 square foot bay, offices, all the rest of that stuff. I had 12 trucks that were coming up on, we had leased them. Oh, I leased about, I think I had 8 leases and 4 that I owned. And I just turned everything in. I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
Take it all. Tell me what I owe you. I don't care. Just send me the bill. And I did have to condense the business significantly. Yeah. But and if you run a company, like, you take on a lot of clientele to keep everybody busy with the hopes, you make them sign contracts, and you know what I mean, and you have your debt collectors and all the rest, and in the queue if you need them. But that's the toughest thing about running your own show is collecting the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Collecting, and then keeping morale, keeping that company culture, man. It's like a virus. Sometimes virus hits just randomly. It could be heat induced sometimes. Like, that's kind of what I feel. Try to keep the guys motivated, and stuff. But also finding good help. I mean, are you finding, at least in Canada, or in your area of Canada, that you're finding good help now as opposed to those years ago, 8 years ago, or whatever it was? Or
no. When I was running it, it felt like everybody thought they were Michael Jordan, because there was such a shortage of guys. You know what I mean? They're all like, listen, I'm going to work 4 days a week, and you're going to pay me $32 an hour if you want me to work for you. Yeah. And so the pendulum has swung the other way a bit, where I'm in control. I said, this is what I'll pay you, and if you don't show up on Tuesday, don't come in on Wednesday, because you don't have a job anymore. But it's really difficult to find good guys.
Yeah.
That want to put in the work. The problem with my business is it's all service. Like, we don't do any new housing or new construction, or very little of it anyway. The only ones that I do are the ones where I know I'm going to do really well, like my margins are really good. So, we may have a half day Tuesday, and then we have to work Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Or you're working at 2:00 in the morning, because that's when the phone call comes in, right? So it's we call it fireman duty. You just never know when the bell's going to ring, and when it does, you're down the pole and on the truck and off to save the world. So not everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody's geared for that stuff, because they like their, they want to work from 7 till 2, or from 9 till 5, or 11 till 8. Like, we did all that crap when I had all those guys, just to try and make everybody happy. But it was just such a shit show. Trying to keep all those schedules lubed and everybody going the right way. And, I think for 15 years, all I did was say sorry all day long to clients, or, oh, really? They didn't show up? I'm sorry. What happened? Oh, we have a flat tire. Or, oh, Timmy's hungover and we had to drive him home because he can't work today. Like, oh my gosh.
I've kind of taken the high ground now. I'm kind of trying to build them up from within, hire them younger and just get them through the process of sending them to trade school and stuff like that. Do you guys have that sort of formalized training, like in your area, like where you're at? Or
one of the best things that, frankly, the federal government has ever done is that our trade program is super rigid and robust, and from coast to coast, it's the same program. When I get my what they call the Red Seal, your journeyman ticket up here, I can work anywhere in Canada except Quebec because they're French and they're special. But I can work. I can like it's transferable anywhere. I don't need any extra training. The only thing that we don't do that we probably should is we don't have any continuing education. Like once I have my ticket, unless I blow up a house or kill somebody, my ticket's my ticket. Or I have some, I do something egregiously illegal.
Yeah.
It's mine for life. And so it's a 4-year. You go to school for 8 weeks at a time. You have to get 1,500 hours in between each one of those sessions. If you're sort of on schedule, it takes you anywhere from 4 or 5 to 6 years to get your ticket.
And then you have a rap sheet like I couldn't believe, master plumber, hydronics expert, getting every one of those certificates and or licenses, how many years do you think you spent doing all that stuff? It's like beyond the regular 5. Yeah, a lot.
Well,
right?
it's interesting because the beauty of sort of my, I don't want to, generation or me coming up in the trade, like when I started, there was the plumbing ticket, and then I got part of my when I graduated, I get my level 2, my B gas fitters ticket. And so I went back to school and got my A ticket so I can work on anything, which was another 6 months of school that you just sort of took at night. And then hydronics didn't even exist really when I graduated. And so there was a lot of that fly-by-night stuff. And then they finally came out with their hydronics code and said, listen, if you want to be an installer, then you can take this course, which frankly is not super intense, or you know what I mean? It's like sort of an open book, what's your spacing on half-inch PEX in-floor heating type of questions like that. And then because where I live, we do lots of septic, so that became, the government wants to get involved in that, so there's a ticket for that. There's some fees for that. That's one of the ones that you have to renew every year. And then cross connection is a super focus. I think it's a big focus for you guys in California too, isn't it?
Yeah.
The backflow stuff.
Backflow, yeah. You have to be backflow certified. There's also different levels of certification as well to allow you to work on larger commercial properties as opposed to residential and that sort of thing. So, it's definitely big in here in California. So,
yeah, we have similar stuff, and so those tickets last 5 years, and then you have to go sort of show back up at their little lab and show them that you can still, turn the dials and read the readings, fill out the paperwork.
It's simple in theory, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if you can charge, like being business minded, I'm like, oh, if you have that certification, you can charge, a little bit more of a premium because you went to class and got that, so.
Yeah, they actually published the list here in Calgary of all the certified backflow. And we were one of the first ones on it. It's certainly become very popular and lots of people do it. But again, sort of my crescendo in the trade, we've just sort of been, there when stuff has emerged. And so we're like, oh, I'll do that. And we've sort of gathered some clientele from being sort of the first on scene type of thing.
Yeah.
And which is played well into our business model, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Well, you've been around for quite a while. Obviously, you've seen the transition from, technologies, going from solder to ProPress. But what do you think about renewables right now? I'm on this big kick with PHEC trying to understand renewables. So like hydrogen technology, things of the sort. But like what are you seeing in your neck of the woods on that?
Hydrogen is huge up here. Like that, they think our government, who's in charge of all that stuff, is really putting some investment into hydrogen technology. They think that that's sort of the new fuel. I don't know, but I guess I honestly think I have 5, 6, 7 years left in this thing, and then I'm fishing and doing bees and breeding goats all day long. So I yeah. Well, and that's what I've said to my boys. Like I've pulled out my list of stuff, and I'm like, look at all that crap. Like that's all extra stuff that I've gone to, so that I know and can, like I just said, sort of be the first on scene and say, hey, I can do this, and I'm certified to do this. And as every plumber knows, you sort of, just because you went to school doesn't mean much. You sort of learn on the go, and you're like, oh, that was a mistake. It didn't cost me anything, and I won't do that again. Yeah. So that's sort of what I'm trying to tell the boys. I'm like, the trade is changing so quickly. Like for 20 years, what were the innovations? Poly B, which fell flat on its face, and then PEX came out, right? Because I mean, the first new housings I ever did were still cast iron, and lead and oakum and solder and all that stuff. I did, 5 or 6 of those, and then Poly B came out and ABS came out. You know what I mean? We don't do any PVC up here just because it's too cold. The glues don't work in the winter, so we use the ABS glue and ABS pipe.
Yeah. And
but you see that, the weld, the welding technology of the plastic welding stuff that they like, it's just bananas. Yeah. How in the last 15 years,
yeah,
it's gone bonkers. I have in my office an old high limit switch that's a big dial. It's literally this big. It's a big clock that they used on furnaces that you could adjust.
Yeah.
Your kick in and your kick out. And now there's stupid little coin switches, right? That cost you $5 at the HVAC wholesaler.
Yeah.
So
I think even getting down to like the trenchless technology, like shooting liners and stuff, which we do a ton of here in SoCal, because we are dealing with that old cast iron, the stuff that's like brittle, and you got everything going down, and kitchen lines are breaking left and right because all the food deposits and grease and stuff like that. But that type of technology, man, when they're trenching, even earlier when I was in high school and stuff in 2007, trenching 30 foot runs, now we're bursting them, or lining them, whichever one. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like before I moved out here, I lived in a neighborhood that had a lot of those problems, and we'd probably replace 6 or 7 main lines from the house to the street. Yeah. And I would pull up there with my backhoe, make a huge, look like Beirut by the time I was done. Like, there's just piles of shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's been leaking for 5 years, so it's sloppy and smelly, and it would take 3 years for the house to sort of recover. Like, we'd be there for a week, pile everything back in, and then the landscapers would show up and rebuild the deck and redo the front lawn or whatever the case may be. And now, like you say, we've done a couple of those. It's not nearly as popular here. Our biggest mistake that we made back in the day was bitumen pipe, which is, I think, that your guys' what do you guys call it down there? Orange
Orangeburg.
Oh yeah.
Orange burst or whatever you guys call it.
Berg. Yeah, Orangeburg, and we deal a lot here in California with that stuff. It's the cheapest.
It's like it's like tar paper, right?
It's
the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much all.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, so we call it bitumen pipe up here, and that didn't last for very long. Thankfully, Canada, on some level, we're the kid brother to the States, right? So you guys start, and then you're like, this is super awesome, and they send it up to us. We put in 6 of them. I'm like, holy shit, this is the worst crap ever. Like, oh, okay, we'll hold off on putting any more of that in until you guys figure out your problems down there.
Yeah. We're trying to sabotage you. What can we say?
Send it to the Canadians, man. They're stupid.
Up north.
If you were smart, you would send it up like, first, try this out. I think this is awesome. But it's usually the other way around, where we're like, hey, those guys are using some really, it's cheap and easy and light, and you throw it in, and then it disintegrates like in, a decade. And anyway, so we have some of that we've used, the pipe bursting and lining, which, like you say, I've seen those. I forgot their name now. Who's the big guys? Bacote. Like the stuff that those guys do is just, and it's all that European stuff, right? Because if you want to follow the trend. It goes, Canada after follows the States, and the States follows Europe. So Europe has been epping it up for 50 years, and now they're fixing it. And you guys have only been screwing with it for 30.
Yeah.
We've been only messing with it for 10.
So, Bob, I recently saw a post. Who was in the pit?
A pit.
I swear it was.
Oh,
your post.
climbing into the septic tank?
Yeah.
That's the
They were.
apprentice. That's the apprentice, man. That's not me. I ain't in there.
No, I know it wasn't you, but he was wearing like a suit and he had to go down a ladder and.
Oh, yeah. So it was a big post just out here, and they're subdividing all their land, and they're going to make like $10 billion off of it, because that's what it's like California up here, the land prices.
Yeah.
And so they needed to locate where all the septics were, and so that was the job for the boys that day. I'm like, well, suck out this. We'll just pump it to surface, the liquid side, and then climb down in there, and run your camera and find out where this stupid line goes. Pete's like, I assume that's me. I'm like, yes, sir, that's you.
Pony up.
Go make some memories. Go make some memories. Here's your condom suit. Keep your mouth shut the whole time, buddy. You'll be fine.
I'll never forget the first kitchen line my dad had me cut into, like raw dog, just filled kitchen line. That sewer smell in a kitchen line is just something god awful, and it's just like, I couldn't hold it back, man. That was the first time. Now I've gotten used to it, but like, holy hell.
It takes a while, right?
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing that I think, and I've said this to John privately, I think what Mechanical Hub and lots of the, we'll call them the professional influence out there are, the spotlight that they're bringing to the trade. I think it's awesome and needed, because, it's dwindling for sure. The one message that I think we fall short on is, we talk about how much money you're going to make, and how busy you're going to be, and sort of the quality of life that you can have and what you can provide for your family. I think the thing that we don't mention is, like, there are days that it's just pure shit work.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard work. You're tired. The smell. You're dealing with crap, in hot, tight, dark places. Like, it's awful. You're folded in half trying to make something work. And I do think that that's sort of the deterrent. If people say, dude, you're going to make like $40 an hour and you're going to be great. I'm like, yeah, and you're also going to climb down in that septic tank. And I promise you, if you open your mouth, it'll be the worst day of your whole life, right? And so,
whenever I'm interviewing somebody, this is like I mean, it's true, and I stand by this, but I'm like, it's 50% mental, 50% physical. Like, and the physicality aspect of it, you can never stray away from in plumbing. It's just never going away. However, the mental side of it is like, you work smarter, not harder type thing. You make sure you have the right tool. You make sure you're not putting yourself in a bad situation, like soldering directly underneath a pipe, knowing that you're going to rip something on your face or like something stupid like that, So it just comes with time and learning, but
it's true.
No,
it's absolutely true. Even both my boys have come home from work and said, you know what, I don't think I want to be a plumber anymore. I'm like, well, get something to eat, have a hot shower, go to bed at 9 o'clock and not 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'll chat tomorrow. And, they're back on it. And, that's usually what it takes. And from my point of view, the physicality is what I, enjoy the most. The fact that you get to work with your hands and, they get dirty and you get a bit smelly, but I think that's what the attraction, for me anyway, to the trade is that it's not, what's that stupid phrase that everybody wears these days? Dirty hands, clean money, or whatever. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's an apparel company. Yeah.
It is, but that, people put that up and, it's the quote of the day. I'm like, no, that's real. Like, you're going to come home smelling like poo, like legit. Yeah. And your, significant other is going to go, what the hell you been doing all day? Well, I think you can tell what I've been doing all day. I'll strip down outside and you can hose me off, and then we'll do it all again tomorrow.
Well, or isn't that the joke for plumbers? Don't chew your fingernails.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't chew your fingernails.
That's
shit
why
goes downhill and
honestly,
payday's Tuesday.
yeah, that's why honestly we don't need COVID shots as plumbers. Like we don't need them. You know, it's just yeah, we're just immune to everything.
There's some truth to that. Maybe once every couple 3 years I get ill with something, like I catch the flu or whatever, but that is it.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm particularly, I'm not a health nut. I don't watch everything I eat, but I spend a great deal of my time in those places that my immune system has to, aggressively make sure I don't die, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. So yeah, that's my reasons for not getting the COVID shot. Hopefully that's not objectionable, John. Sure, then.
So your boy started plumbing at what age again? Or when did you get him kind of started on?
So because they're my boys, I mean, they basically started, at 11 and 12, digging ditches and, cleaning pipe and that sort of thing. But officially, Isaiah started his last year of high school, and then Pete started about 6 months after high school. So he was 19, Isaiah was 18, Pete was 19. Pete did go spend a couple years in the Philippines over COVID he did a religious mission, and then because of COVID, he wasn't able to get back in and get things fired up again right away, and so he should be just sort of a year behind Isaiah, but by the time he gets it, he'll be almost 3 years behind.
You pretty much started right around the same age, right? Or therein?
Yeah. My earliest memories as a kid was working with my dad, making those putty snakes, and trimming out sinks, and all that stuff. Like seriously, probably 5, 6, and 7. It's sort of, and my grandpa, the story is my grandpa started in '52 as a plumber after the war. He went to what they called it rehabilitation after World War II, and he became a plumber. Moved out to Lethbridge, which is just a town south of me. Worked for a guy down there for a couple of years, and moved up here to Calgary and started Baker Plumbing in '56. And then my dad sort of took it over in about '72, and then I sort of took it over in about '96. And I hope the boys take it over in 2026. If all goes well.
2026, that's the goal. Gotcha.
I think so. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean, I will never be removed, but I would like not to have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work every day.
I think that was the hardest thing for my dad to kind of grasp. He's still trying to grasp it. He's like, okay, now I have all this time on my hands, and he's like, do I get into golfing? Do I get into he's trying to figure things out. I'm like, you know what? If plumbing's your thing, why don't you go travel, do like missions trips? I know there's plenty of those sorts of programs out there. You can travel and help people out. Plumbing. Yeah,
there's lots of you could go to Africa and help them with their water purification stuff, and there's all sorts of those opportunities. I'm not going to fool anybody and say that's sort of my plan. I started doing the bees and the chickens and that sort of thing. I don't plan on leaving here. I'll probably die about 20 feet outside there after a workout in here.
I've seen your posts in the morning, and you can do a pan of the countryside, and it just looks like really peaceful. Is it as peaceful as it looks? I mean, it's a stupid question, but it's got to be soothing, right?
It is. I can remember I had been married for about 3 weeks, and we were living in an apartment about as big as this upper barn. And my dad had a farm just outside of town, west of town. And I do remember specifically saying, I said it this way. I said, I don't know who I have to kill, but I'm going to kill somebody to get back on the farm. Mm-hmm. And that sort of became the focus of, I don't know that's where I got to be.
Yeah.
And so we moved out here 22 years ago. And it's literally the main reason that we moved out here is we had 5 kids, and you just you need stuff for them to do, and I don't know how else to say it. You need some way to control them so that you can know what they're doing and who they're hanging out with, and so we moved out to a bit remote so that we can
Where'd you bury
look
the
after that sort of
body?
thing. I'll never tell. I'll never tell.
You said you had to kill someone to get the farm.
I did say I don't know who I have to kill, but I am willing to kill someone to get out of this stupid ass apart. Like it was, it was your typical apartment. It was a cheap.
I know.
It smelled. You smelled everybody's dinner. You heard the fight upstairs. You heard the makeup of the fight downstairs. I'm just like, what am I living in? This is insanity. And so it really became the focus to just say, this is what I'm doing. And it is. It's when we moved out here, people thought I was crazy because it was so far from town. Obviously, the town is sort of, it's stretched out a bit closer, but it's still far enough away that it's as peaceful as it looks. There's no rooster filter on there covering the sounds of people swearing and horns honking in the background.
So Jeff Keller says Baker Plumbing and WWE. Are you going into wrestling?
I could. Keller's a dick. Yeah, Keller. He might have reported me once or two. No, you know what? I don't think. Anyway, I certainly speak my mind. I don't know what else to do. I'm not very good at holding my tongue, and to be perfectly honest, I'm pretty well known in this city.
Yeah,
because I've lived here my whole life, and I'm either awesome or I'm an asshole. There's not a whole lot of
great.
He's not a whole. He's an okay guy. It's either that dude is an asshole or that dude is awesome. Like there's not any middle ground really. And so, I'm just kidding, Jeff. I love you. See, he even said it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the beard. I do know this. Sometimes beards, like in studies, like with customers and things, sometimes beards put off certain people. Like they feel like it's like an aggressive type appearance. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Would you like me to tell you my experience, Mike?
Oh God.
It intimidates the men and turns the women.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm working on it.
I've had, without going into too deep, I have had more proposals since I grew this thing than you could imagine. It is mind blowing.
The only thing I worry about is Carlson has a longer beard, Alan, and it getting it.
I know, but he's ugly as fuck.
Well, but getting it caught in something, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that concern you?
It is true. The full disclosure, the only thing I trim on this thing is the sides.
Yeah.
Like it will not grow any longer. Like I haven't trimmed this bottom part since it sort of reached there and is done. And I've had a few people say, well, you need to put conditioners and you should get this citrus shit. Like, dude, I grew a beard so I wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm not becoming, feminizing my beard. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It's just what it is. So.
It was like rubbing oranges all over yourself.
Right? This is the stuff, you need to get this paste. I'm like, I ain't putting any paste on anything other than a threaded fitting, man. That is it.
Yeah.
No, I hear Keytight works really well. You should just put some Keytight in there,
Oh, yeah. Just to straighten it out a bit. No, I grew a beard over COVID, or just before. I guess it was 2008. I grew a beard, and haven't really looked back at it. And it's been great, and don't regret it. And it's a bit hot in the summer, but I do think I see some of those guys. You follow some of those guys that have beards down to their belt buckle. I'm like, I don't know how you work with that, honestly.
So the day you retire, you should just come on and have a fully shaven. That'll be like the code that you're done. Like you've retired, you're done. And
All right.
We wouldn't even
Watch for.
recognize you, I don't think.
Yeah, you're right. I could start a new account. They're like, who's this fresh-faced young guy that's ready to tackle the world? Till I start speaking, then they'll be like, ah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Keep
Nikolai
going.
says he's seen a pic without the beard, so.
Frickin' Nikolai. That is my Russian friend that, I don't know, his account got hacked too.
Oh man.
Good to see Nikolai back. We met at Wet Show way back when.
Okay.
Before COVID. I think that's when we first sort of shook hands, isn't it? Were you at COVID? Or are you at Wet Show just the March before the whole world went insane?
I was, yeah.
I missed it, but yeah, you gotta love these trade shows, man. They bring everybody together. We were talking about this past couple weeks and stuff. I mean, the amount of networking and getting to know, like, just everybody's there. It's awesome. Yeah. And do you typically come to like all the U.S. trade shows, or like which ones more speak out?
The only one, I won't lie to you, I'm not a trade show guy, not even the ones here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's always been so busy that I'm like, listen, if I need something, I'll ask somebody in the industry.
Yeah.
And so because of this sort of interactions that I had here,
what about the new shark bite?
Listen, I don't know how. I don't understand it. Like, I truly don't. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my whole life. Like,
Here we go.
It's push to connect. Like, the thing that bugs me the most about that stuff is everybody, I haven't seen anyone, with the exception of Eric, and I know he did it on purpose, install it in a home. Like, everybody's doing it on the back of their truck or in their barn or on a desk. Watch this. Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how is that? Like, let's, imagine.
I could do it.
Imagine we're all chefs, elite level chefs, and I come on here and start showing you guys how to crack eggs. Watch this, man. Everybody be like, what are you doing? You're a moron. Like, and like, the thing that bugs me the most is that I actually use shark bites all the time. Like, we use like the 2-inch ones, the 1.5-inch ones, and the 1-inch ones in our hotels because some idiot decided to put CPVC in all of them.
Yeah.
And so we use it as our transition from CPVC to copper, and then we press it the rest of the way. So I use them all the time. Like, I've used thousands of them. And I'm the one that's getting, it's dramatic, but it's Instagram, so whatever. I'm the one that's getting the hate because I'm calling these, I don't know what else to call them. Like the Vanna Whites of the plumbing world. Watch me turn the effing letters, as I walk across the stage. So it's not, I understand they're getting paid for it, which I also have a problem with. You're a plumber. Like, you need to get an extra, like, I don't know, what is the compensation of that? $200?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Here, if you do this, we'll send you $200 worth of material. Okay. Is that really worth your, I mean, I don't know what else to call it, but your reputation?
Your soul.
Like, your soul!
Yeah.
Like, your whole audience is plumbers. Like, it's not like Bob Vila's, this old house where there's a bunch of dudes that have no idea what they're doing watching you how to make a ridge cut into a roof. Oh, you take this measurement, this measurement, this measurement. Okay, I think I can do that. You know what I mean? You're talking to a bunch of experienced plumbers, and you look at the Shark Bite Max. I'm like, what? And Eric just jumped on here.
Yeah.
He's gonna jump in.
He heard me. He heard the ripple. And like I said, he's the only one that I have ever seen actually install it in a real world situation. Right?
Yeah.
And I said that to him. Dude, that's awesome. I can't even give you shit because I do the same thing. I use them all the time. But I'm not putting them together on my workbench, telling everybody it can handle, what do they can handle? 80 PSI. I'm like, you realize that when you hit 80 PSI that you have to put in a pressure reducer because the taps can't handle it. So why the hell do you need 180?
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody mentioned we used it a lot here in SoCal, and it's true actually for coach homes all the time because that CPVC is predominantly in coaches. So yeah. Well, that's pretty much the only application. However, I have seen full repipes done with shark bite fittings, and I'm like, oh dear Lord, like what is happening? So
Well, I have never seen that. I have seen the handymen that sort of work in our, our restaurants and our hotels and our community centers. Like, hey man, I went to Home Depot and I bought like 1890s, and it's a racetrack, but it hulls. I'm like, yeah, okay, well we'll fix it for you. Don't worry about it, type of thing. And nobody, like I said, when I was talking, we DM'd each other, Eric and I, and probably sent a few voicemails back and forth. And he said the same thing as I said. I've only used it with CPVC, but my wholesaler never hasn't. So somebody is out there just, throwing them like freaking lawn darts all over the place. And obviously, good for shark bite. They're making, everybody shows you can't do a shark bite ad without the shark bite cutter because it's blue and it cuts it straight. Like,
Eric says he has a tattoo of you and Mike holding a shark bite.
oh man, you better learn about laser.
You better show me that, Eric, because I had PS the plumber tell me he was going to get a tattoo of me on his arm because I am not. Yeah, he did. Because he's got a bunch of. I did that barn banter with him, and he's got a bunch, and he admits it. He's got a bunch of stupid ass tattoos. Like he's got like Donald Duck, and I don't even know what they are. Like a snake and some naked woman. I'm like, what do those mean? Nothing. I thought it'd be cool to stick like a naked broad on my right here and have Donald Duck over here. I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But good for you. I mean, it's not. When I say that stuff, people are like, "Oh, you hate him." I'm like, I don't. I just think it's dumb. We all do stupid things.
Yeah.
Right. I got 75 chickens in my back right here. That's freaking stupid because I got to kill them all in the next 3 weeks, which is going to be, a bloody mess. So it's stupid.
Well, you didn't name them, right? Hopefully you didn't, because that personalizes.
No, they're all just chicken one. Chicken 1 to 75.
Chicken one. You're chicken one. You're chicken one.
Whatever one we grab, whichever it is. I don't know. We're 17. Chop.
Oh my god.
That's how it goes. So, like I say, I've roasted Eric a few times on his fly fishing tattoos, and his, everybody got the rigid wrench there for a while. I'm like, the only one that I respect of Eric's, to be perfectly blunt, since he's chirping in here, is he got his lovely wife on his arm, which is fantastic. Good for you. That is, I'm sure Heather thought that was amazing. And I can't say anything about it, because that's great, but I would not do the same thing.
You wouldn't put Heather on your arm?
No, I wouldn't put anybody on my arm. It's all virgin white flesh. That's all I got, my man. Any tattoos? Any tattoos, Johnny, that you want to tell anybody about?
No, I don't have anything against it, but I just never presented itself.
It's certainly. I mean, you could talk about like everything else in this world. The technology of that has just gone bananas.
Yeah.
Right. Like the tattoo art is just breathtaking, some of it.
But I'm waiting for the interactive tattoo. So, like Eric said, he has one of you putting a shark bite on, but you're actually moving it, push to connect. And it would be just,
if I do like this, if I put a piece of pipe here, and a shark bite right there, I'm like, look it, connect.
You could plan that out perfectly, absolutely. And then the other hand, you're shark bite cutter.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think we're obviously having a lovely conversation. Everybody that I've actually talked to are lovely people. It's a wonderful network that, except for Eric.
Yeah.
I'm sure Eric bought all his followers.
Yeah.
I could tell you he didn't, but yeah. Yeah. No, he didn't. No way.
No, I'm just kidding. It is like I think I've had dinner with Eric and we were at that Rigid thing and had a lovely chat. There's so many things that we agree upon are similar. I mean, you're in Minnesota, you're in California, I'm in the middle of Alberta, and the plumbing trade is just there's so many similar things, and I'm certainly an agitator for what I think should be done and what shouldn't, but it's interesting out of all that stuff. Like, what is our disagreement on? Shark bite. All right. Yeah. Well, which like I say, I use all the time. So yeah. It's not really a disagreement. I just sort of,
No, and
despise
that's kind of why we wanted to have you on, because you are outspoken and you're not afraid to. And I like that. I don't want to have everyone agree with me all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
I have said.
Agree.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'd agree.
I've said to my
because the one thing, like what we were saying earlier, you have, I guess, not call them sellouts, but you have a lot of people that have special interests involved. So to have that open talk, that real talk, is important, especially in the industry, because a lot of the younger guys or young business owners, they can be steered down this pathway that is just it's not viable, because it's not truthful,
No, like you say, we won't name any specific companies, but there's all that software stuff that's out there now that this will change your life and your business I'll make your business profitable if you spend $1,500 a month on my brand new software. I'm like, dude, that is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Your business isn't profitable now. Buying software is not going to make it more profitable. It's just going to add another expense item to your thing. So you should take a couple business classes before you invest in software.
Yeah.
On how that goes down. So I have told everybody that's worked for me, and specifically my two boys, you don't have to do everything the way I do it, but if I ask a question on why you do it, then you better have a reasonable answer. If you do it different than me, then I want to know why. And if it's just because I felt like it, then that's not good enough.
Yeah. What if they say they saw it on TikTok?
Oh.
Then I might have to get a girlfriend and a new son. Start the next generation.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, we've been on an hour. I know we could talk all night, but man, I love having you on. I randomly call Baker it's 8.
He does. He randomly calls me at 6 o'clock in the morning, and somehow I always answer because I'm up anyway.
Good night, Eric.
Good night, Eric.
Yeah. So
sweet dreams, big man.
It's awesome, Bob. Man, we appreciate you, man, and everything that you're doing for the industry. And it's great to get to know you better tonight. And I'm sure we'll meet up in the near future for sure.
Yeah, you tell those trade show guys to pick one that's not in the middle of. Well, it doesn't have to be close. Just not in the middle of effing winter. It's pretty. Which I get. I'm like, it's February. It's the average temperature is minus 35.
So
it's busy as hell.
AHR, we used to have a relationship with the owners, or they run the show. And I interviewed the guy, and I said, why would you have, the trade show in January in Chicago, New York? Yeah, sometimes they're in Vegas and Orlando, and they said they did the research, and that was the best time to do it, which I still don't really agree with. I mean, you're taking guys out of their the peak time of work and money to go to, Chicago in January or February. I don't know. You tell me.
I think the reason that I've heard that makes sense to me is that it caters to the presenters, right? To the manufacturers, to the people that are actually in the booths, because nobody wants to, the summer is probably far more difficult because everybody's on, trying to work their holiday schedules and stuff, right?
Well, that and almost, manufacturers, it's almost like clockwork that they launch a new product beginning of the year, so it's on that schedule. So I kind of get it, but it's tough to get away for a few days. I'm not even a contract. I'm talking about you, Bob. To get, like you said, to get away for 3 or 4 days to go. to go to AHR, and now it's back to back, like AHR and Wet are.
Yeah, I know.
back.
I did, truthfully, I wanted to go this year, but Isaiah or Pete was in school, and it was, I looked at the forecast. I'm like, it's going to be minus 30 that whole 2 weeks. Is the and I can't go because I mean nothing major happened, but if I'm on the plane and a whole hotel goes down and Pete and Isaiah can't handle it, then I risked a $200,000 a year contract, which I'm not. I would love to show up and have a great time with you guys.
Yeah,
but that's.
But don't you have the pull to like?
gotta balance that.
Doesn't Baker have the pull to like just tell the captain to turn around and go back?
Yeah.
Mid flight.
I think I could if I said something. If I talked my mind.
Yeah.
The Sky Marshal might. We're going back. I'm not sure I'd be able to get off the plane and go to work though.
Yeah.
I'd probably end up in the Canadian jail and on the news. So I'm not sure that's the most prudent way to go.
Yeah, right.
Well, business comes first. That's right. So
That's Russell.
Yeah.
Big Russell. So yeah, listen. Whatever. I think I'll say it again. I'll blow some smoke up your butts, but I think you guys are doing a great job.
well, thanks.
Appreciate it, man.
And
Well, we think. I mean, everyone in this circle, or
there's three of us. It's a triangle.
I respect.
Not a circle.
Yeah, I respect you, Bob. I respect Mike. Mike's running a company. He's PHCC president of. I still don't get the acronym. ORSB.
Did you? Hey, can I ask you how the election went?
Oh shit! Yeah, we don't talk.
Oh,
Actually,
I don't know. I'm not even trying to roast you. I don't even know.
No,
but I can tell by your answer it didn't go well.
It's fine, dude. It's fine. It didn't quite go according to plan, but other things came to fruition, so that was kind of cool. I'm now working instead of the state level, I'm working nationally. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
It's like, oh well, I just took a huge jump. So actually, it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
Who did you lose to?
Oh God.
Oh, I can't. It was a woman, wasn't it?
Okay.
Oh.
You said. Doesn't matter, man or woman. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's a fact.
Yeah.
You lost to a woman.
I did.
And people will be upset by that. But
did.
I just sort of just the way you're holding your shoulders. That's how I came out. I have no idea.
Already, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, you are getting a little glossy up here at the top there,
right
Mikey.
Yeah.
Is she gonna do a good job?
Yeah, she's been doing a good job.
right.
She's a good friend. So yeah, there was no ill will or anything like that. It wasn't like your typical like Biden Trump type election. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. You state guys go crazy for that politics stuff, man. It's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah.
I don't know. We got one guy, I can't remember his name, the other guy who might go to jail. So who are we voting for? I don't know.
We're in the best position possible for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Keep telling yourself. That's what I'm saying the exact same thing because my politicians ain't any better than yours. So
yeah.
hopefully, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. Please let it be good.
Well, Bob, thanks so much. We love you, dude.
Yeah, we love you,
You're
man.
the best.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything I can do for you guys, let me know.
And like I said,
See
like we said, hopefully we see you one of these days and give you a big hug. So
I do plan on going to. I think is it Chicago?
yeah,
Is that AHR?
AHR.
Yeah, that's the plan. I do plan on being for that. Yeah,
So.
I do plan on being there for that. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
All right, buddy.
Awesome.
All right, my man.
Everyone have a great night.
Be
Bob, thanks
safe
so
out there.
much for taking time, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
Next week.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.